1. Aquarius, the cards have been drawn this morning with an urgency that is impossible to ignore. The energy surrounding your reading on May 6, 2026 is unlike anything the cosmos has brought to your doorstep in recent memory. Something enormous is approaching, not creeping slowly toward you, but moving with speed and intention. The universe does not always warn before it shifts, but today it is warning you clearly and directly. You are standing at the edge of a transformation so complete that the person on the other side will barely recognize the one standing here now. The tarot is not delivering this message to frighten you. It is delivering it because you are capable of receiving it. Every card in your spread today carries the same underlying frequency. Change is not coming, it is already here. The only question left for you, Aquarius, is whether you will meet this shift or be swept away by it. 2. The first card drawn in your spread today is the Tower, and it arrives without apology or softening. The Tower is one of the most powerful cards in the entire major arcana, and its presence demands full attention. It depicts a tall structure struck by lightning from a clear sky, sudden, complete, irreversible destruction of what was built on false foundations. Aquarius, something in your life that you believed was solid has been resting on ground that was never as stable as it appeared. You sense the shakiness, and you are far too perceptive not to have, but you chose to manage the awareness rather than confront it directly. The Tower is telling you today that the management phase is over and the reckoning phase has begun. What falls away under Tower energy is not what was ever truly yours. It is only what you were holding on to out of fear or habit. Breathe into this card, Aquarius, because what collapses today is making room for something that will last. 3. The second card in your reading is the High Priestess, seated in her eternal stillness between two pillars of mystery. She holds a scroll in her hands that she does not open for just anyone. She opens it only for those who are willing to be still enough to read it. Aquarius, your mind is one of the most extraordinary instruments in the zodiac, brilliant, visionary, architecturally precise in its thinking. But the High Priestess today is pointing to the limitation of that brilliant mind. It cannot access what she holds in pure intellectual mode. What she carries belongs to the realm of intuition, of inner knowing, of the body's quiet intelligence that speaks before the brain has formed the question. You have been overriding your intuition with analysis for a season too long, and the cost of that override is beginning to show. The big shift the universe is bringing to you today is, in part, a shift from mind-dominant navigation to soul-dominant navigation. The High Priestess is your guide today. Follow her not with your logic, but with your willingness to not know while still moving forward. 4. Card 3 in your spread is the Eight of Swords, and its imagery is sobering and precise. A figure stands blindfolded and bound, surrounded by swords planted in the ground around them, unable to see that the restraints are loose. The prison, Aquarius, is not external. It was never external. It is the prison of the story you have been telling yourself about your own limitations. You have convinced yourself that you cannot move until certain conditions are met, that you cannot speak until you have perfect words, that you cannot leap until the landing is guaranteed. None of those conditions will ever be perfectly met, and somewhere deep within you, you already know this to be true. The Eight of Swords in your spread today is the universe pulling the blindfold from your eyes and asking you to really look at how free you actually are. The bonds that hold you are made of belief, not circumstance, and belief is something that you, of all people, have the power to change. The big shift begins the moment you stop waiting for permission and realize the permission was always yours to grant. 5. The fourth card drawn is the Ace of Cups, overflowing with pure emotional potential and the energy of new beginnings in the realm of the heart. This card is a gift placed directly in the center of your reading today, and it carries a promise that the universe does not make lightly. Something new in your emotional world is opening. Not eventually, not someday, but now, in the immediate present tense of this very day. Aquarius, your emotional life has been operating on a kind of rationing system. You have been doling out feeling in measured, controlled quantities. You have been protecting yourself with the sophistication of someone who has learned through experience that being open hurts. But the Ace of Cups today is saying that a new kind of emotional experience is available to you, one that does not require you to sacrifice your safety for your depth. The big shift in your heart is not about becoming more vulnerable to pain. It is about becoming more capable of receiving love, joy, and genuine connection. Open the cup, Aquarius, let it fill. This is the moment the overflow begins. 6. Card 5 is the Five of Pentacles reversed, and in its reversed position, it carries a message of emergence from hardship. In its upright form, the Five of Pentacles speaks of material struggle, of feeling left out in the cold, of scarcity gnawing at the edges of daily life. Reversed, however, this card signals that the worst of a difficult period is behind you, that the door you thought was permanently closed is beginning to open. Aquarius, you have been carrying a financial or material concern that has weighed on you more than you have shown to the people around you. You have managed it with your characteristic competence and quiet resourcefulness, but internally it has cost you sleep, peace, and a sense of freedom. The Five of Pentacles reversed is telling you today that relief is near, not in the vague, distant way of a hollow promise, but in the concrete, imminent way of a shift already in motion. Something is changing in your material world that will release pressure you have been holding in your body without fully realizing it. Receive this change with gratitude rather than suspicion, Aquarius. You have earned this turning of the tide. 7. The 6th card in your spread is the Page of Wands, and this young messenger arrives with fire in their eyes and news in their hands. The Page of Wands represents the beginning of an inspired, creative, or professional chapter, the spark before the flame, the idea before the execution. In your reading today, this card is positioned in the area of your near future, which means something is coming toward you with creative energy and forward momentum. This could be a new project, a new creative direction, a new professional collaboration, or simply a new way of approaching your existing work that reignites the passion you thought had dimmed. Aquarius, your mind is built for innovation, and when innovation is paired with genuine passion, the results you produce are nothing short of extraordinary. The Page of Wands is bringing you a message today. The creative chapter you have been hoping for is not a fantasy. It is the next chapter, and it begins now. Pay attention today to any idea that arrives with unusual electricity, any conversation that sparks something that feels genuinely alive in your chest. That electricity is the Page of Wands handing you the torch. Your job is simply to take it and run. 8. Card 7 is the Three of Cups, and it brings with it the warm celebratory energy of community and shared joy. This card depicts three figures raising their cups in a toast. Friends, allies, kindred spirits celebrating something worth celebrating together. Aquarius, you are a sign that loves humanity in the abstract with extraordinary depth, but sometimes struggles with the intimate, specific experience of letting particular people truly in. The Three of Cups today is not asking you to become someone who wears your heart on your sleeve for all to see without discernment. It is asking something more targeted. Are you allowing the people who genuinely love you to celebrate alongside you, or are you achieving and transforming in isolation? The big shift that is coming in your social and relational world is an invitation to let your community be present for your evolution, not just your arrival. People who love you want to walk with you through the becoming, not merely witness the result after you have already composed yourself on the other side. Three of Cups today says, lower the drawbridge, let your people in, let them lift their cups beside yours. 9. The 8th card drawn is the Knight of Pentacles, steady and methodical, moving forward with deliberate and unshakable purpose. Unlike the more impulsive knights of the tarot, the Knight of Pentacles does not charge recklessly. He moves with precision, with a clear plan, with boots firmly planted in the ground. This card appearing in your spread today is the universe's way of telling you how to navigate the big shift that is arriving in your life. Aquarius, you will be tempted today, or in the days immediately following, to respond to change with either paralysis or impulsive overreaction. The Knight of Pentacles is counseling you toward a third option, grounded, intentional, one step at a time movement in the direction that truly matters. You do not have to figure everything out today. You do not have to have the entire plan before you take the first step. All the Knight of Pentacles requires of you is that you identify the next right action, just one, and take it with full commitment and steady presence. One grounded step today will carry more lasting power than 100 frantic sprints in directions chosen from panic. 10. Card 9 is the Moon, and she arrives in your spread, casting her silver light over everything hidden and everything unresolved. The Moon rules the unconscious, the dream world, the emotional tides that move beneath the surface of your visible, rational life. For Aquarius, a sign so deeply identified with the mind and the intellect, the Moon represents the territory that most challenges and most needs your attention. She is illuminating something today that you have been navigating around rather than through, something emotional or psychological that has been operating below your conscious awareness. This is not a comfortable illumination. The moon rarely offers comfort in the conventional sense, but it is a necessary and ultimately merciful one. What the moon is showing you today has been shaping your decisions, your relationships, and your sense of what is possible for longer than you may realize. Seeing it clearly, even if what you see is uncomfortable, is the first and most essential step toward freeing yourself from its unconscious influence. The big shift includes this inner shift, Aquarius, from being governed by what you have not yet looked at to being guided by what you have had the courage to fully see. 11. The 10th and final card in your spread is Judgment, and its arrival at the closing position of this reading is a thunderous and magnificent affirmation. Judgment is the card of awakening, the trumpet blast that calls souls forth from the sleep of unconsciousness into full, luminous, irreversible awareness. It is the card that appears when a life chapter is not merely ending but completing, when the accumulated experiences of a long arc have finally ripened into wisdom. Aquarius, you have been in preparation for this moment for longer than you know, gathering experience, developing capacity, refining your understanding of yourself and the world. All of that preparation was not for its own sake. It was for this, the moment when the call comes and you are asked to step fully into your purpose. Judgment does not ask whether you feel ready. Readiness in the conventional sense is not the criterion. The criterion is, have you done the work? And Aquarius, you have. The title of today's reading says you are not ready, and in one sense that is true. No one is ever fully ready for the scale of transformation Judgment announces. But Judgment does not wait for readiness. It arrives when it arrives, and today it is here, and it is calling your name with unmistakable certainty. 12. Now that all 10 cards have been laid and their messages heard, it is time to understand what this reading means as a unified whole. These are not 10 isolated messages. They are 10 facets of a single enormous truth that the universe is delivering to you specifically on this day. The Tower breaks what was false. The High Priestess calls you inward. The Eight of Swords reveals your freedom. The Ace of Cups opens your heart. The Five of Pentacles reverse signals material relief. The Page of Wands ignites creative fire. The Three of Cups invites community. The Knight of Pentacles counsels grounded action. The Moon illuminates the unconscious, and Judgment announces the awakening. Together, these cards are telling one story. You are in the middle of a big shift, and the shift is the answer. Everything that has been building, and the restlessness, the sense of being on the edge of something, the quiet knowing that things cannot stay as they are, has been leading to this. The not ready in your title is not a disqualification. It is an honest description of where you stand at the beginning of a transformation you did not yet fully see coming. By the end of this shift, Aquarius, you will look back at today as the day everything began to make the kind of sense that changes a life. 13. Your relationship with change has always been more complicated than others might assume, Aquarius, and today is the day to look at that complexity honestly. On the surface, you are the sign most associated with revolution, innovation, and the willingness to break from tradition in favor of what is new and true. You champion change in the abstract, in society, in systems, in the structures that govern collective life, with passion and intelligence and fierce conviction. But personal change, the kind that requires you to alter not the world but yourself, is a different matter entirely, and it is one that tends to make even the most evolved Aquarius hesitate. Personal change asks you to be uncertain, to be unfinished, to occupy the uncomfortable middle space between who you were and who you are becoming. And that middle space, Aquarius, is precisely where you find yourself today. Standing in the threshold, 1 foot in the old chapter, 1 foot reaching toward the new. The big shift is not asking you to have it all figured out before you move. It is asking you to move while still figuring it out. That is the most radical act of change available to you today, moving forward in the beautiful, honest mess of not yet knowing. 14. Uranus, your ruling planet, has been moving through a sector of your chart that governs deep personal values and material security. This transit, which has been active for some time, has been quietly but relentlessly dismantling your relationship with what you thought you needed in order to feel safe. The things you believed were non-negotiable, certain financial benchmarks, certain relationship structures, certain professional validations, have been revealed to be more fluid than you assumed. This revelation has been both liberating and unsettling, because security, even when it is limiting, carries the comfort of familiarity and predictability. Uranus does not offer comfort. Uranus offers freedom, and freedom and comfort are not always compatible in the short term. What Uranus has been dismantling, it has been dismantling in service of a deeper, more authentic kind of security, one rooted not in external circumstances, but in internal knowing. Today, with the tarot confirming and amplifying what Uranus has been building toward, the final piece of that dismantling arrives. Something you have been holding on to because it felt safe will be released today, and in its release, you will discover a groundedness that the holding never provided. 15. There is a situation in your life that has been requiring more of your energy than it is returning, and the cards today are seeing it clearly. You have been maintaining something, a relationship, a commitment, a professional obligation, a personal narrative that once served you but has quietly become a drain. Aquarius, your capacity for loyalty is one of your most admirable qualities, and it is also one that can be used against you, by others or by your own sense of obligation. You have stayed in this particular situation longer than felt right because leaving felt like betrayal or failure or the admission of a mistake you were not ready to own. But the Eight of Swords and the Tower together in your reading today are delivering a joint message that is unmistakable in its clarity and its mercy. The situation you have been maintaining is not serving your growth, your joy, or your authentic self, and maintaining it is not loyalty. It is avoidance wearing loyalty's clothing. Today's big shift includes a shift in how you relate to your own sense of obligation, a realization that your first and deepest responsibility is to the truth of your own becoming. What you release today does not diminish you, it restores you. And restoration, not maintenance, is what this season of your life requires. 16. The moon card in your spread is speaking specifically today about the realm of your dreams, both the literal dreams of sleep and the figurative dreams of your deepest desires. Aquarius, you dream in colors and concepts that most people cannot access. Your inner world is as vast and intricate as the theories you weave in your waking life. But there is a dream, one particular dream, that you have been treating as too large, too unlikely, too far outside the realistic parameters of your current life to pursue seriously. You have given it airtime in private moments and then immediately filed it away under the category of wonderful but impractical, returning to the business of managing what is already in front of you. The moon today is pulling that dream out of the filing cabinet and placing it on your desk where you cannot ignore it. It is not telling you that the dream will be easy or that it will arrive tomorrow. It is telling you that the dream is real, that it carries genuine soul signal, not just wishful thinking. The big shift includes this, a shift in how seriously you take the most luminous vision your inner world has produced. Today is the day you stop managing your dreams and start respecting them enough to make one real concrete movement in their direction. 17. Your body is carrying the weight of this cosmic moment, Aquarius, and it is important today that you acknowledge what is happening in your physical experience. The energy of major astrological and tarot configurations does not remain in the abstract. It lands in the nervous system, in the muscles, in the breath, and the belly, and the chest. You may notice today an unusual restlessness in your body, a buzzing, a tightness, an inability to settle into stillness without effort. This is not anxiety to be managed with distraction. This is your physical system registering a shift that your mind has not yet fully processed. Honor your body today, Aquarius. Move it with intention. Walk, stretch, breathe deeply into the spaces where you feel most constricted. The breath is particularly important today because breath is the bridge between the world of ideas, where you live most naturally, and the world of physical, embodied reality. Every time you breathe deeply today, you are helping the big shift land not just as a concept in your mind, but as a lived truth in your bones. Let the shift become physical. Let it become real. Let it move from understanding to embodiment, from the page into the body that must actually live this change. 18. In the realm of love and intimate connection, today's cards are painting a picture that deserves your most honest and undefended attention. The Ace of Cups and the Three of Cups together in your spread are creating a combined message about what is available to you in your relational world right now. Aquarius, you are capable of a quality of love that is genuinely rare, a love that holds space for the full complexity of another human being without needing them to simplify themselves for your comfort. But you have not always been able to receive that quality of love in return, partly because receiving it requires a vulnerability that your self-protective instincts work hard to prevent. The big shift in your love life is not about finding a new person or fixing an existing relationship. It begins entirely within you. It begins with a decision to stop preemptively withdrawing before someone can withdraw first, to stop managing your emotional exposure as though love were a liability to be risk assessed. The Ace of Cups today is placing before you the possibility of a new emotional beginning, one characterized by genuine openness rather than strategic positioning. Will you drink from it, Aquarius? Will you let love be something that happens to you fully, not just something you observe from a careful, intelligent distance?